Hi everyone. I was rushed at the end of class today and very briefly showed you how to use the parsing module. I want to give you a quick walkthrough of how to use the parsing module so that if you have any questions as you try to do the homework, hopefully this will help clear things up. So first things, here's the logic software. To find the parsing problems, you first have to open the parsing module by clicking on parsing. And that'll open this window. And you'll see there's a place up here for there to be a problem, and then there's some stuff here, but there's no problem displayed. There's nothing here. So the first thing you need to do is you need to come down to the select button, click on the select button, and you will get this dialog. And these are all problems that you can work on. Only some of them have been assigned for the homework. You have to go to the assignments page to see which problems you're supposed to do. You can scroll down and see that in addition to these problems, there are some problems that I've put in here that are called instructors problems, and they have these numbers that start with 600, like 1.620, 1.621, and so on. So they're down there. So if you select a problem, like here's one, and you hit OK, then it'll show you now what the problem is. It's parsing 1.006, and that's the sentence you need to parse. And the question you're being asked is this sentence in official notation or in informal notation, or is this just a string of symbols that isn't a well-formed sentence at all? Now in this case, so what we'd have to do if it was in official notation or in informal notation, we'd have to click on the main connective, the last connective added in constructing the sentence up, and then it would produce a tree. In this case, it flashes red at us both times, indicating that there's no way here to parse this. That means it's not a well-formed sentence. If you want to think about why it's not a well-formed sentence, we talked about this in class briefly. There's no way to combine P, Q, and R all together at once into a sentence. You'd have to combine P and Q first, but then there would be parentheses around P arrow Q. Or you could combine Q and R first, but then there'd be parentheses around Q arrow R. There's no way to get this string P arrow Q arrow R without parentheses grouping either the P and the Q or the Q and the R. So this one is, so you can click on not well formed. You can check to see whether or not that's correct by hitting the check button. And it says correct, and it says complete. You've completed the problem. So this correct means that you're correct, it's not well formed. Complete here means you've completed parsing it. Since it's not well formed, there's no way to parse it. So that doesn't really require anything. And up here it says correct, and that means the entire problem, your answer to it is correct. When you're done with a problem, you can save it, and that'll save your work to your hard drive. You can also submit it. If you click submit, it'll ask for your password, and make sure that you're submitting it for the correct course. And then what you'll get is this list, and all of the problems that are highlighted in green are ones for which you've completed the problem correctly. So like I could submit problem 6 by hitting submit. If I want to submit multiple problems, the usual way of selecting a range of problems using, for example, clicking on one and then shift click on the other, that'll work here too, and you could submit several at once. Or if you click on one and then on a Mac command click on another, you can select a discontinuous set of problems. Be a little bit different on Windows. The same thing that works on Windows for selecting several things, and then you'd be able to hit submit. I'm not going to actually submit that problem, so cancel. When you're done with that problem, you hit select and you can select another problem. So here's one. I think this one is one of the ones that's assigned, P arrow Q. I've already done work on this problem. That's why it's green. See how it shows up as green? Hit OK. If I've done some work and I want to start over, I can hit the delete button to delete the work. This one, P arrow Q, it's in informal notation. Formally, it has to have those parentheses around the outside. P and Q are both sentence letters, so they're sentences. You can combine them using the arrow, but you have to put parentheses around the whole thing. So it's not in official notation. It's what you get if you start out in official notation and drop those outermost parentheses. So it's an informal notation. And the main connective, the last connective used to put this together, is the arrow. So if you click on the arrow, that will parse it into a tree. So you took P and you took Q, which are both sentence letters, and then you combined them into P arrow Q. And the parentheses were added, and then you dropped them off and put it into informal notation. You can again check your work. It's correct. It's complete. This time it's complete because I actually parsed the whole tree. Let me show you something. Delete my work. Suppose I said it's informal notation, but I didn't parse it. And then I checked my work. It'll say correct over here. It'll say incomplete here because you haven't parsed it yet. And the whole problem is incomplete. That's what this means over here. Click on that. Parse it. Okay, so now it's correct. Now it's not going to automatically update to say that it's complete. You'll have to hit the check button again to see. And now you see, okay, now it's complete and it's correct. Save your work, submit, enter my password, and I can submit it. When you're done, you can hit close. That'll take you back to this menu. When you want to quit, there's a couple of things that you can do first. One thing you can do is you can hit this backup button. That will back up all of your work to the servers so that next time you open the software, the work, you can suck it back down from the servers. You should make a habit of backing up. If you don't do that and something goes wrong with your software, we won't have any way of getting your work back. And some of this work accumulates. There are things you can do once you've done other things. If you lose all your work, then that's a bad thing. So you should make a habit of backing up regularly. And then you have a choice. You can quit or you can delete your work and quit. If you quit, then all of your work will remain there locally saved. If you delete your work and quit, then the next time you start up, it'll ask you if you want to restore from your backup. And actually, the best practice here to keep all of your data in sync and organized is every time you quit, delete the work and quit. It'll say, are you really sure you want to delete all the work? And you'll feel like, but it's okay because you just backed it all up. So the best strategy here is to first back up, then delete all of your work and quit. Hit yes, and then you're done.